soon as I come on live, then we hear bombastic bass coming out of nowhere. Anyway, I don't know if y'all hear that. I hope you don't. But sorry, I was reading some. Um, so I usually do my lives early in the morning, but today I didn't do it, and I don't know. I guess I just wasn't feeling it to do it, but because I don't like to force myself, you know what I mean? I never like to force myself to do things that don't feel right. I like to go with the flow. So whenever I do my lives, that's basically me going with the flow, me feeling that it's the right time to do it. You know what I mean? So that's how I am with my music too. I can't force myself to compose music. I have to like let it come to me, let the melody come through me, and then let it play out in my hands, right? So, um, and that's how I've done all my music. But um, I came on here because something just kept running through my brain, right? Actually, it was running through my brain when I was on my way inside. So what was running through my brain was ebb and flow trabajo, which is what my title is, right? And where should you be, right? And I was just asking my questions while I was on my way coming inside, like ebb and flow trabajo, uh, and where should I be, right? And where should you be, right? And what I mean by ebb and flow trabajo is just dealing with work, right? Um, a lot of us have 9 to 5s, and a lot of us may not necessarily like our 9 to 5s, but we do it to sustain a paycheck, right? Um, I was talking to somebody, an older woman actually. She's in her 70s, and she was asking me about myself, and she asked me about what kind of skills I have, and talents, abilities. She was asking me about accolades and things that I've accomplished, right? So I was telling her or whatever, and then she asked me what I currently did for work to get paid, and I told her, I told her, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, the honey, that job is beneath you, right?" And I was like, like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? But it's not the first time I've heard that before. Like when I tell people about my accomplishments and stuff, and then when I was working at Starbucks, if somebody asked me where I was working and I told them, they'd say, "Why are you working there?" They say that's so beneath you, right? And I kind of took offense to it because I felt like they were saying that like my job was shit. And there are a lot of people that work at Starbucks that actually retire from Starbucks. Like there are a lot of people, like I've met people as old as 50, 60, 70. Like I used to work with a guy who was an actual teacher at a university, and he worked at Starbucks part-time, and he was in his 70s. And what's interesting is that I think he felt like working at Starbucks was beneath him, because whenever someone would come up to him and ask him questions or whatever, and he would speak to them, and they would say, "Oh, you sound so educated, right?" And I think he took offense to that because I guess he's like, "Oh, because he's working at Starbucks and he's like 70 something years old," and he would immediately say like, "Oh, I'm a professor, and I'm a professor at a university, and this is just what I do on part time." He always made sure that he made people aware that that wasn't his main job, that he was a professor, at a university, and so I guess in a sense he didn't necessarily feel like working at Starbucks was beneath him, because he was, but I think he felt like he had to explain himself to people that he came in contact with, right? So whenever someone would ask, about jobs or whatever that I was doing, and I was like, "Oh, I work at Starbucks part time," and they're like, "Why? Like that's beneath you." And so when I was talking to this 70 something year old lady, and she was asking me about my other job, and I told her, at a motel front desk or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, honey," she's like, "That's beneath you, right?" And so I don't think that it's I don't think that it's beneath me, because at the end of the day, it is a paycheck. And a lot of people don't realize why you even work the jobs that you do work. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't even realize why you do it. It's not necessarily because you chose that job because that's exactly what you wanted. You know what I mean? A lot of times, jobs that you may want won't hire you. For instance, there have been numerous times that I've applied to jobs that are either in my field or jobs that my accolades fit, right? And whenever I do that, you don't get hired for it. But a lot of times they don't hire you for it is because they know they're going to have to pay you top dollar for your achievements, right? So those higher positions would rather hire people that don't have as many accolades, because they feel like they won't have to pay you, right? I see it happen all the time. I see it happen all the time. Like, hierarchy positions will hire people that don't have as many accomplishments, accolades, achievements, because they feel like, oh, great, then I won't have to pay them top dollar. I can pay them low dollar, and we'll just train them, to fit the position, even if they're not even made for it. I see it all the time. Even with Starbucks will hire managers that have no managerial experience. Literally, do you hear me? They will hire people that don't have any managerial experience. They will hire people that have never worked a day in their life at Starbucks, don't know nothing about coffee, don't know nothing about the customer service that comes with, don't know nothing about the merchandise, don't know nothing, right? But of course, you go through the flow and you train and stuff, right? But they will still not hire someone. If there's a managerial position up, a store manager position in Starbucks will look outside. Starbucks will look for someone outside of Starbucks, because they know that if they hire someone in house, they're going to have to pay them for their experience, right? And so that is what a lot of people run into when you are looking for higher grade positions, um, and you just can't get it because they don't want to pay you top dollar for it. Another thing is, you're already within a company and you want to move up, but instead of moving you up, they put more job duties on you that would require you to get paid more money or require you to have a different title, right? But they don't do it. They don't pay you more, and they don't change your title or anything like that, because they want to keep you right at the same pay grade, right? They want to keep you at the same pay grade, but they just pile on more work. I used to work for a cable company where I started out with one title, then they added another title, then they added another title, then they added another title, right? So I have all these multiple different duties that I'm doing. Basically, it was like several different departments that, like, if a person called into the cable company, if they wanted technical support, that's one department. If they wanted customer service, that was one department. If they wanted sales, that's one department. If they wanted, God know, equipment, whatever, that's another department. And I would hone all those titles. So if a person is calling in, whatever function or specific department they wanted, it was me. It didn't matter what department it was. I was all the fucking departments. Do you see what I'm saying? And so it didn't matter. It just didn't matter, And so you find yourself in situations like that. So it's like ebb and flow, trabajo, because it's like you have to ebb and flow when it comes to work. Because if you're not able to get the kind of job that that you deserve, because they're holding out for someone that has less skills so that they can pay you less, then what are you supposed to do, right? It was funny because I had saw this video on YouTube. I think it was comedian Shula King. He was like, yeah, this girl is complaining about she can't find a job, right? And then he pulled up a newspaper that said now hiring, and it was listing a bunch of jobs. But it's interesting. When I saw that, I was like, he don't even know. He can't know. You know what I'm saying? Because if you knew what it really was, you wouldn't even say anything like you wouldn't even say anything like that. That's why it matters. The experiences that you have matter. If you don't have those type of experiences, then you wouldn't understand, because you're not in the job field like that. He's a mortician. He's a mortician, and he's been a mortician for a long time. He's a mortician and a comedian. So he's a mortician who probably works for himself, or he's a mortician that works in his family's mortuary company, right? And then he's a comedian on the side. So if he went straight into that field and just has been in that field all this time or whatever, then he probably wouldn't know what it's like to go through the different jobs in the job field on a job search. He probably wouldn't understand all of that. But I've been through various parts of that, right? So I understand what the market is and what it's looking like, and how. Oh, one good example. I applied for this director of marketing position, right? Now, I applied to the director of marketing position is because I've been doing marketing for years, right? Now, I've been doing marketing with regards to my own businesses, right? My candle company, real estate, when I had like an entertainment company. So a lot of it was marketing through my own businesses, right? So I've never done marketing really for other people unless they, asked me to or paid me to, but it was mostly just for my own businesses. So I have an extensive portfolio from my businesses, from all of the marketing, all of that stuff is online. You could go and look at it. Honey Child's Candles, Honey Child's Cafe on Instagram. Like basically the links in my profile, the links in my profile on this YouTube channel, if you were to click and go to Honey Child's Candles, if you were to click and go to Honey Child's Cafe, if you were to click and go to Wind Lake Real Estate, if you were to click and go to, what else do I have on here? I got a lot of links on here, okay? But my point is, all of that is marketing. All of that is marketing. It's marketing, it's branding, it's commercials, it's all kind of. I did a damn commercial for my candle company. Do you know what I'm saying? So all of that is marketing. I have an extensive experience in that. So I applied for the director of marketing position, right? And what's crazy is before I applied, the people that were accepting the applications, they specifically said, oh, if you don't have a college degree, it's okay. Oh, if you don't have a lot of experience in this field, it's okay. Oh, if you don't have it, because we'll bring you on board. It's all right if you don't have the experience, right? And I was like, and so in my mind, y'all, I'm like, great. So they're not looking for someone to have a lot of experience, right? So I actually have experience. So let me show what my experience is, and then maybe they'll actually be impressed that I have experience, so that they won't have to feel like they have to hold me by the hand. That's what you think, right? It didn't go down like that. I gave him my resume. I gave him my resume and got noses turned up at me. Then I was told that I was overqualified for the position, director of marketing. I was overqualified. After she just told me before I applied that I didn't even have to have a college degree. For the director of marketing. Okay. But I gave him my resume and it was like, oh, you're overqualified. They turned me. And so that has been a journey for me, right? For a few years now, right? And so when people wonder, why do you end up at Starbucks? Or why do you end up at wherever, like why? That's why. Mind you, I don't mind, or I never minded working at Starbucks because I always loved the cafe culture. Like I still plan to open my own cafe one day, right? So I love the cafe culture. I love coffee. I love music. It all contains a lot of the things that I love. So it was like a side hustle for me, right? So whenever I needed to make extra money, I went to Starbucks, right? So it didn't bother me as much. Now it kind of does, because I definitely wouldn't want to go in as like a barista or anything like that. I would definitely be going for store manager. But then again, I have so much Starbucks experience for so many years that they would not hire me as a store manager because they knew they would have to pay me at top dollar. They would rather hire someone with no experience at all, so they don't have to pay them. And that is the God's honest truth. And so when you speak to people and they're just like, oh, why are you working there? That's so beneath you, A lot of time a lot of times you have to work where you can work so that you can try to make money to really do what you want to do. But then when you're in positions where you don't make enough money to be able to really do what you want to do, it leaves you stagnant. It leaves you like in this small bubble, and you're very, very limited with what you can do because you're not getting paid enough to do what you need to do, right? So, for instance, I'm a realtor. I have a real estate license. This is the second time I've gotten my real estate license. The first time was in Las Vegas, Nevada. The second time in the state of California. So I have a whole real estate license that's actually hanging up at a brokerage right now. Who's like, whenever you're ready, Sean, to come back. Whenever you're ready, Sean, to come back. But because um, brokerage fees are expensive, and um, it's expensive. Like it's you got to spend money to make money kind of game when it comes to real estate, and I know that, right? Clearly, I know that. But when you get stuck in this bubble where you have to be stagnant because you don't make enough to be able to pay your real estate brokerage fees and marketing and whatever else you have to do, mind you, I'm not even worried about marketing as much because I can do free marketing. I've done marketing for so many years that I just know how to do it. You know what I mean? Like I began building my marketing page on TikTok and Instagram. Like I've been building that. That's free marketing. I don't have a problem doing that at all. It's just that when you are not in the game, it's like then you stop, right? You become stagnant. So ebb and flow trabajo, right? You have no choice but to ebb and flow because what else are you gonna fucking do? Right? I went to graduated from the Los Angeles Film School, got my music production degree. So I have the official title of music producer, right? So I'm a realtor who's also a music producer, right? So um, I made a lot of music. It's what I do, right? I make a lot of music. I write a lot of songs. I sing my songs. I, perform my songs, right? But at the end of the day, it's like if you're not having people to collaborate with, which is the reason why I didn't kind of do that. But if you're not having people to collaborate with, and if you're not really finding the position that you want where you are, because a lot of times you have to travel away to do the certain things that you want to do. And I don't necessarily want to do that as far as going too far away because my kids, you know what I'm saying? And so, people are just like, oh, well, why don't you go across the country and go back to the East Coast or go to this country. And it's like, no, I'm not leaving, where I am because I need to be able to find my kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that holds me back. Um, but I know anybody who's listening right now is probably like, find your kids. It's a long story. If you want to know more about that, then it would behoove you to check out my Winter and Laker playlist folder. And in that, it has a lot of videos in there talking about my kids and the situation that I ended up in and child custody and stuff like that and hiding my babies and things like that. So if you want to be briefed on that, just visit my Winter and Laker folder and you'll find out about that. Um, what else? So yeah, so that's the whole ebb and flow trabajo. That's what that title part came from. People don't seem to understand that. And then where should you be, right? So I know a lot of us probably, say to ourselves, where should we be right now? Or where should I be right now? Or, you know, I know where I should be. I know where I should be. I know where I should be. I should be, ooh, I almost said the M word. It almost scared me for a minute. I was going to say I should be married, but yeah, yeah, I should. I should be married. I should be married. I was married, got divorced. It was like a civil union agreement, got the civil union dismantled. Um, so I feel at this point in my life, I should be married, not trying to rush into marriage at all. Definitely not trying to rush into marriage. It's a lot that comes with that. But at this point in my life, I don't know about y'all, but at this point in my life, I should be married. That's what I feel. Um, I should have. my kids, Winter Rose Madison and Laker Lou Jackson, and I should be raising them. Um, I should be reestablishing my businesses, which is my real estate. Basically, the links on this page that you see that leads to my real estate company and leads to my candle company and stuff like that. I should be reestablishing those, is my point. And I should be adding to those businesses as well. So I should be working for myself again. That's what I should be doing. I know. I know that I'm supposed to be working for myself, and I know that I'm not supposed to be working for anybody, because working for other people stagnates you. You know, there are some people who see your potential, and there are some people who applaud your your accolades, your achievements. There's some people that applaud. Um, they look at you and they see that you're a great asset for the company, right? And so they see the strengths that you hone, and they seek to use those strengths in the part of the company where it could best be used, right? So there are some people that can see that and will put you where you should rightfully be, right? And then there are some people in businesses who see your accolades, your accomplishments, achievements, whatever, talents, gifts, and they're threatened by it, right? A lot of times I get people that are threatened by me. And they either think that I'm there to replace them, or they think that I'm going to outshine them, or they think that somebody is going to take notice of me and give me a higher position or pay me more or whatever, you know what I mean? So, and in that aspect, people seek to hide me, right? They either seek to hide me or they seek to dim my light as a result of it. I know I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? I know too well about that shit because it's happened to me too many times. Too many times to count. You know what I mean? It's like, oh God, is she here to take my job? Or is she gonna take my I mean, and they can have like their title could be like 2, 3 times higher than where I am. But it's just like, oh, uh-oh. You know what I mean? And I'm just being me. I'm just being me. You know what I mean? I'm just being me. I'm not going to dim my light for anybody. I'm not going to play small. I used to do that shit, y'all. And I know a lot of y'all out there have done that shit too. You play small. You play small to make other people feel better about themselves. You play small so that you don't make the other person feel insecure. You dim your light, or you dumb yourself down. Whew. I remember when I used to do that shit. I hated doing that. I hated dumbing myself down. Like I literally worked in a place one time, and the person that I worked with literally tried to dumb me down. I'm trying to find an example of what she would do to me. And like it got to the point where I went and spoke to the manager, and then he was like, "Yeah, what's going on?" I was like, "She literally like tries to dumb me down. Like she like literally tries to make me dumber." like she like you know what I mean? So I at that time I'm sure I had all kind of examples and stuff, but um I know I'm supposed to work for myself. You know what I mean? Um, I understand that in work environments, there are different personalities. Different personalities can clash. There's different attitudes. There's different mental conditioning. There's different uh, thought processes. There's different, like, I get that, like we're all people. We're all different. We all come from different backgrounds, but a lot of us can relate to each other in some aspects, right? But I also know that um, because of how I am and who I am, and because I've been a business owner, right? Multiple businesses, and like I know that I have an air about me that is boss. Do you know what I mean? And I get that, and I don't think it's anything wrong with that. I actually think that's a great thing. I think that's a great thing to have an air of a boss. You know what I mean? But I can't help that that's the air that I have, or whatever people want to call it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to dim my light, and I'm not going to dumb myself down to make anybody feel better about themselves, because if I do that, then I'm hurting myself, number one, and I'm keeping myself complacent. Number two, there are so many people, like people in this chat room, right? Like, for instance, there are people in this chat room that have come on here. Okay, hi, okay, like, like trolling and stuff, right? And they'll say, um, and it's just like, what does that do for you? What does that do for you? That right there is like a great definition of dumbing down. It's like the perfect example. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if I even continue to entertain that, I would be dumbing myself down. Do you know what I mean? So it's like ebb and flow, trabajo. Where should you be? Do you know where you should be? This person that's saying, do you know where you should be? Do you know who you are? Do you? Where should you be in life? Where are you in life right now? Are you happy? Are you miserable? Are you depressed? Where are you? Where are you in life? What are your accomplishments, achievements? What are your talents, skills, and abilities? What are they? Besides coming on a chat room and saying, like, is that your thinking process? Is that what you do? Do you sit around all day and say, die? Is that what you do? Is that what you do? Because if that's the vocabulary, baby, you need to pick up a book real fast. Real fast. But I digress. Anyway, so I came on here because I normally come on early in the morning when I'm at work, but I didn't feel it to do it, so I didn't. I waited till later. And that's what was on my mind. Ebb and flow, trabajo. I felt like I needed to come on here and explain that about jobs, because a lot of people really don't understand what people in the work field go through. And just like that comedian was like, oh, she said that she can't find a job, and he put a newspaper up that said all these hiring positions and stuff. I'm like, he don't even get it. He don't even get it. Sometimes people don't hire you because they're racist. They discriminate, right? Sometimes people don't hire you, like I said, because they feel like you have too many accomplishments, achievements, and they don't want to pay you what you're worth. They'd rather give the job to someone with less experience so that they can pay them less. Some people won't hire you because they're threatened by you. They're intimidated by you. It's a lot of things. And sometimes if you are within a company, you will not move up within the company because of either intimidation, or they feel like they can just put more work on you and keep you right where you are because they know that you're capable of handling it. That's how I started my Honey Child's candles company. I was working for the cable company that would not move me up. Every time I applied for a higher position, I either lost my resume and they kept asking me to resend it, and then I would keep resending it, and then it was like, oh, we hired somebody for the position already. You know what I mean? Or they just overlooked me and kept overlooking me, but kept putting more job titles on me and more job titles on me and more job titles on me, right? And I was like a top seller within the company, you know what I mean? And so it got to a point where I was just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Excuse my French, but that's exactly what I said. I said, fuck this shit. All of this shit that I'm doing for this company, I can do for my goddamn self. I said, I can do it for my goddamn self. Sometimes you get to that point, y'all, you get pushed. You get pushed. It's true. You get pushed. Literally, you can get pushed to the point where you're just like, fuck this. All this experience that I got that I'm just giving to you for this dollar amount, and you don't even appreciate it. You taking it for granted because you feel like you can. You're not even acknowledging the stellar employee that you have. You would rather just treat me like I'm a number. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh no. So while I was working there, I started working on my Honey Child's candle company. I started the first thing I worked on was my trademark. Actually, I was making like candle examples. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I would get materials and I would start experimenting with making candles, right? Um, I got pictures of all of this shit. So I would start, experimenting, learning how to make candles, to get that part going. And then I worked on my trademark, Honey Childs, and I worked on it and worked on it until I felt like it was good enough to trademark. And then because I had experienced trademark attorneys charging an arm and a motherfucking leg to start the process of trademark, not even giving you a flat rate, boo. It was just like, no, to start, we at $7,000. I'm like, what the fuck? What? What? And while I was at the cable company, I was saving to buy a house, right? I was getting my credit together. I was saving to buy a home. So there was no way that I had extra money allotted to be able to pay for a trademark. I'm saving to buy a house. And you $7,000. So I knew what I had to do. See, when the fire is hot under your ass to make change, you will make change. And I said, I don't want to work for nobody that's going to treat me like this. I don't want to work for somebody that looks at me like a number. I don't want to work for somebody who just tries to slave labor my ass and add all these duties and job titles on me, but don't want to raise my pay and don't want to acknowledge all the skills I have to move me up in a higher position. You will get a fire put under your ass. And that's exactly what happened to me. And I said, shit, all the skills and stuff I got. And so that's what I did. And I worked on my trademark and I learned how to trademark is what I did. I learned how to trademark because where was $7,000 coming from? I was saving to buy a house. Where was $7,000 coming from? To start the process. So I strapped down and I studied and I studied and I studied and I studied that hard ass lawyer lingo, because that's basically what it is lawyer lingo. Lawyer lingo is how you get trapped. Lawyer lingo is how they're able to charge you a shitload of money, because if you don't know the lawyer lingo, baby, oh yeah, they're gonna get you. Yes, they are. They're gonna get you. They're gonna get you real good. So I had to grasp the lawyer lingo when it came to trademarking. And so once I grasped it, and then I had to practice trademarking over and over and over. I had to, until I got it. And then when I felt like I got it, then I experimented with sending the first trademark through. And it went through. It came back with a couple mistakes or whatever, but I worked through those kinks, and baby, I was on my way to trademarking Honey Childs, and that's exactly what I did. And after I mastered trademarking, then I said, "Ooh, now I want to learn how to patent, because you got to pay a lawyer for that too. You have to pay a lawyer to patent your shit too." And I said, "Well, shit, I'm already on the money now. I mean, I didn't learn trademarking. I might as well go ahead and learn how to patent too." So that's what I did, and I studied because at the end of the day, when you working for somebody else, when you're not working for them, you got time. I was so good that I would do this shit while I was working for the cable company. Do you hear me? I would be sitting at my desk at home, because I was work at home, so I was comfortable in my PJs. I would work at home at my desk and with my headset on, and I would sit and wait for a call, doodling my trademark. Sitting, waiting for a call, working on a business plan. Sitting, waiting for a call, working on a patent idea. Sitting, waiting for a call, inventing shit. Sitting, waiting for a call, working on candles. Sitting, wait. Oh, yes, I did. Multitasker is my middle name. I did that shit while I was working for the cable company. And they couldn't tell, though, because my work didn't falter. It didn't falter at all. At all. At the end of the day, if you can put all these extra titles on me and not pay me more, I can add all these other extra titles. That's my personal shit while I'm working for you making money. Because in the end, that's going to pay off. And that's what I did. That's what I did. Yeah, it was a lot more work, but it was my work. So I felt better about it, because it wasn't for them. It was for me. It was going to benefit me and my future family in the long run. So that's what I concentrated on. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And then sometimes things take a hit, but then you get back to it eventually. So I never look at I never look at a setback as everything being over and just done for. Because at the end of the day, I work damn hard for everything that I've accomplished. I've worked damn hard for everything that I've studied and learned in order to accomplish. And I will never dim my light in that aspect. Never. Because I know how hard I've had to work for everything that I have done, everything. You know, it's interesting because there are some people that will say to me that, I seem like life altogether, or shit just seems easy for me, or, because I'm a creative, you know, I can just make shit happen. But a lot of us are creative. A lot of us just don't choose to use it. And then instead, we'll get mad at the person who is using it, who is using their creations, who is using their creative mind in order to produce. And it's like, you could do the same thing too, but some people don't look at it that way. They'll look at you and be like, oh, oh, she can do this and she can do that. And they'll start hating on you and getting mad at you because of it, but never stop to actually do it themselves. Because we're at the end of the day, we all have the same 24 hours. We're all human. Yeah, some people do get a leg up. They do. Some people do get help. Some people do get loopholes to help them on their way to get where they got to go. I haven't gotten any of that. A loophole? I haven't gotten any of that. I've had to work hard for everything, and I don't mind that because at the end of the day, it builds character and it makes me more worldly and more well-rounded. And it also makes me appreciate what I have. It makes me very, very grateful, and humble. You know, sometimes when people don't have to work hard for what they have, they take it for granted and they're not as humble about it. And their character isn't built because they didn't have to do anything to build it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to go through certain life obstacles or go through certain life challenges or go through certain um, things in life that would challenge them. If everything is basically given to you easily, like how some people say, oh, this person was raised with a silver spoon in their mouth, right? Oh, this person, they had it easy all their life. They were raised with a silver spoon in their mouth. They never had to work hard for anything. Everything was given to them, right? They inherited this from their family, or this was passed down, or what I mean. They didn't have to buy a home. They inherited a home, or they didn't have to own a business. The business was given to them. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's nothing wrong with that because everybody, well, I'm not going to say everybody, me personally, that's something that I dream of. That's called legacy. That's called legacy. People dream to leave a legacy for their kids. People dream to be able to build something to pass on to their future generations, to their kids and their kids' kids and their kids' kids' kids and their kids' 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 kids. That's a dream. That's a dream. That's legacy. Some people don't think like that though. Some people don't think long term. Some people think like right now, right? Like there are some people, family members, mothers, fathers, whatever, that will literally sacrifice their own for a bag. Mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles. They will literally sacrifice their own for a bag because they're thinking about in the moment mentality. Well, I might not ever see this amount of money ever again. Or what if, she get it, but she don't share. Or he get it and he do something else with it and I don't get as much. And people think like that. A lot of people don't think futuristic. They don't think about leaving legacy. They think about what I can get right now, what I can take, what I can take right now. What I can take right now. Well, I might not ever see anything like this again. So I might as well just go ahead and take it while the going is good. Not thinking about the consequences of it, not thinking about who you might be hurting, not even caring about who you hurt. Just get what you can get while you can get it. There's some people that think like that. And then there are some people who think legacy. There's some people that think like legacy, the betterment of everybody, right? So I'm thinking legacy. I've been thinking legacy. I will always think legacy. And as far as where should I be, because I know a lot of us ask ourselves that question. I know where I should be. I should be eventually married, raising my kids, Winter and Laker, and hopefully having another baby. I don't mind having twins again. I carried my twins very well. I wouldn't mind having another set of twins because I carried my twins, Winter and Laker, very well, very well. A lot of people couldn't even believe I had two babies in my belly because of how well I carried them. And so, yeah. So, yeah. And rebuilding my businesses because I know I'm supposed to be working for myself. At home, rebuilding my businesses and taking care of my family. That's where I should be. That's where I should be. And that's I know that's where I should be. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see where life leads me. Um, it'll be interesting as we all think that, right? Like we're like, oh, what does the future hold? Who's going to come in? Like I think about that stuff. Like, oh, I wonder who am I going to marry? Who who is he? What does he look like? Am I going to be attracted to him? Um, is he going to match my fly? And what I mean by that is he going to match me mentally, emotionally, physically, um, on a soul level? Is he going to match my frequency? Is he going to be my equal? That's it. Is he going to be my equal? I think about that a lot. And I think about other things too. I won't go into that, but you know how you just curious, you just have questions. Like I literally would be like, okay, this is a little personal and a tad bit vulnerable. Like I'll literally be like, I wonder who is going to be the first guy to to lie between my legs in 21 years. That's the God's honest truth. I literally think about that. I'm like, who's going to be the lucky person? Who is going to be the one that's so blessed to have that position, basically? So I normally wouldn't share that. That's kind of personal, but I'm being honest. So why not, right? I think about that, and so I think about you know the future, but I definitely know where I should be, and I definitely know what I should be doing for sure. Um, and I know I'm not supposed to be working for anybody. I'm supposed to be working for myself, and I'm supposed to be in a home environment, raising my kids, and pregnant with another, pregnant with a baby, and pregnant with new ideas for new creations, which that will never stop. I can't even help that. That's like just innate. It's in me. I can't help that. I create. I'm a creator. It is what it is. Like that shit just don't stop. When I tell you don't stop, I write every day. Do you hear me? It just don't stop. It's almost like your brain don't like my brain don't turn off. It's just because I'm always coming up with something or something's always hitting me. And then I get mad, right? Say if it's like late at night or like the wee hours of the morning, right? And something will hit me so like, and it's so good that it'll wake me up out my sleep, but I'm so damn groggy that I don't want to get up and write the idea down. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll remember it when I wake up. And then I wake up and then I don't remember it. And I know it was a really good idea. Ooh. And then I can't get mad at nobody but myself because I should have got my ass up and wrote the damn idea down, right? I always tell people, when you get a really good idea, write it down immediately because you will not remember it an hour from now. You won't. Sometimes you're lucky enough if you will. Sometimes you can be lucky to remember it, but sometimes you will not. You will not remember it, and it sucks. And I've been in that situation a couple of times where I'm just like, fuck, why didn't I write this shit down? Whether or like I could be in my sleep and a dope ass melody will pop in my head, and I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. Oh, that's so good. I need to get up and flesh it out on a piano. No, because I'm thinking I'm going to remember the damn melody, and then I forget it. I've done that a couple of times too, and it pissed me off. I'm like, that could have been a hit song, damn it. It could have been a hit. I fucked up. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to talk about. Ebb and flow, trabajo, and where should you be? Because I know where I should be. Do you know where you should be? Do you know where you should be right now at this moment in your life? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life's been showing you? Mm-hmm. Do you know? Look at Diana Ross popping in my head. Mm-hmm. Where that song come from? That song is from that movie. What is that? I know it. It's Diana. What's that movie Diana Ross was in with? Y'all know what I'm talking about. What is that movie? Oh, I'm so mad at myself right now. It's an old movie with Diana Ross, and she sings that song. Do you know where you're going through? With the slick dude. I'm so mad at myself right now that I can't remember that. Anyway, I know I've seen the movie before. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about that. And crazy trolls, crazy trolls. But anyway, maybe I'll come on live later on, depending on if something hits me or something exciting happens that I feel like I really need to talk about. Check out my live that I did titled Got My Mind Twirling. It's a really informative live. And I think you would really enjoy it. If you're not subscribed to this channel, All Baddies Got a Story, make sure you subscribe. Also, check out my featured channels on this page. At That Girl Shanda is my artistry page. Check that out. If you like it, subscribe to the channel. I also have a podcast with almost 300 episodes of raw realness. I have the link to that in my profile. So check out my podcast. If you like it, subscribe. I also have a couple episodes from my podcast in my podcast playlist folder on this page. Check it out. But a lot of the links that are in my profile leads to all of my different spaces with different content, like my Honey Child's Candles page, where you can see how I did all of my brand building over there. I even have some cute videos of my daughter Winter and my son Laker. And what else? And my Honey Child's Cafe page, which is basically the foundation of the cafe that I aspire to open soon. And it's funny because I know that there are people out there who like know my situation and know like, you know, the struggle that I'm in. I'm pretty sure that there are people out there like, why is she so positive? How is she so positive? Look at all the shit she going through. And there are some people who know what you're going through that will throw more venom on you in order to make it harder for you, right? So that you don't reach those achievements, or, you know, so that you don't think as highly of yourself, like to kill your self esteem or whatever, right? Because people will do things to you on purpose in order to kill your self esteem. Like they will literally try to break you down to make you feel like you ain't shit, right? But that's where the self love part comes in. And that's where knowing yourself very well comes in. Like you literally have to know who you are. Because if you do not, you will give people power over you to make you think that you ain't shit. But a lot of times, people that try to make you feel like you ain't shit, they really think that about themselves. I ain't lying, y'all. They think that about themselves. They think that they not shit. So because they feel like they ain't shit, they look at you and feel like you ain't supposed to be shit neither. And if they think that you either are better than them or you have more than something or they're lacking in, like they just try to make you feel like shit. They try to kick you, especially if like you're having a hard time, you're struggling. Oh baby, they feel like that's the perfect opportunity to kick you while you down and to keep kicking you and to stomp you because they don't want you to get up. They don't want you to get up. And they get mad when you keep getting up because they're trying to figure out why you keep getting up, how you keep getting up, what's going on, why she keep getting up. Why is she still alive? Didn't we put out a hit on? Why? Damn. I wish this could be handled real quick so I can go and cash this goddamn check. I wish this would be handled real quick so I can go and pay this off. Yes, motherfuckers out there like that. And they be in your family. They do. So, self-love is the best love. Self-love is the best love. Like Beyonce's song, Me, Myself, and I, all I got is all I got in the end. That's what I found out. She ain't lying. She ain't lying. Those is the realest words one could ever speak. Me, myself, and I. That's all I got in the end. That's what I found out. And it ain't no need to cry. Because from now on, I'm going to be my own best friend. Because a lot of times people need other people to sustain them, like in regards to like mental and stuff like that, like they get in groups. That's why a lot of times you'll see like a group of people targeting one person, and it'd be a group targeting one person, because they're trying to take that one person down or trying to make them mold into the group. Because everybody in the group is alike, right? But if that one person is the only one that's different, they either trying to break you down so that you don't get back up, or they trying to mold you to be like everybody else. It is what it is. I would cringe, or I do cringe at the idea of being like everybody else or anybody else. I cringe at that idea. I would never want to be like anybody else. Ever. Ever. And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. But anyway, I'm going to get off this live because I'll just keep on talking, y'all. I'll probably come back on later, maybe. Don't count me on that. I'm about to eat, and maybe I'm going to take me a nice bubble bath or something. Uh-oh. I'm setting myself up. I might not come back on because if I take a nice hot bubble bath and have a hot cup of tea, I might not see me. Anyway, ciao, y'all. Talk to you later.